So we have a new episode of Legends and Leaders, and today it's great to have two Fernandos here. You guys have been, really creative in a lot of different areas, but now you've got a new project that's coming out, the Necklace Project, which is it's creative in a lot of ways. You got an album, you have live shows, you've got a film, so you're at multiple different fronts on it. But I think that the message of it's really important, which is focusing on mental health, a lot of awareness around that. It's making people feel comfortable with who they are, based on the different backgrounds that they have, and sharing these types of stories. So I'm excited to have you guys here and to get into your story.
Thank you so much. So we think that the world is going through a mental health crisis, maybe because of inequality, maybe because the overuse of tech, maybe people are overconnected. So we thought that music is a good way to connect people in a different way. Through the research that we did in our project, we realized that trauma is disconnection, and we had this idea of trying to connect people in a different way. So we made a film. There's this is starting his career in festivals about trauma and mental health called Necklace. It's an experimental musical film that blends documentary and fiction. And the film comes along together with live concerts and also um, a series of uh, records, an EP that we just released in our platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music. The first name is Fernando's, which is the name of our band.
It's the name of the EP, and the name of the band is just Fernando's.
And soon we're going to release a double album as well. So the project has these three-dimensional characteristics.
Mm-hmm. What made you guys want to start creating together, making music together, making projects? How did that kind of start?
We started working together on a film called Breaking Myths. That was a film about catastrophic masculinity, and we were studying how the very macho world in Brazil, how that made space for a president like Bolsonaro to raise power. And that was the first project that we started working together. And from that, we kind of started developing music, and
and it's funny that
went on.
Somehow this film still echoes in the current election in the US, because you see in one side President Trump supported by Elon Musk, and the other side you see Kamala Harris supported by Taylor Swift. So somehow you can see the masculinity versus the woman's power still very much playing a big role in politics. So that's the subject we were studying in our previous film. And by over studying these 24 hours, I don't know if you have saw the film from Stanley Kubrick, Clockwork Orange. So that was what we lived for 4 years, 24 hours watching footage of the collateral damage of masculinity. And just for the records, we are gay men. We have nothing against men. It's not about that. It's about the collateral damage of catastrophic masculinity. So nothing against man itself. It's about when masculinity goes wrong.
When it goes beyond the normal amount of masculinity.
So this kind of made us a kind of sick. So we find out the power of music to heal mental health problems. So that became our next subject.
Mm-hmm. And how did you guys go about making music that would be targeting a mental health group? What did you kind of do different about it to actually convey that to these people and to make them feel welcome and stuff like that?
Well, I believe that making music in any way is a way for you to process your feelings, and then somehow when you're doing that, you understand better yourself. And obviously we are human beings, so the fact that we are working on our feelings and stuff that happened to us, we have songs about abuse. We have songs about lots of like not just wellness, but also the dark sides of mental health in a way. But in this way, like we by doing music, by making music, we started realizing how well it made me feel, how well it made him feel. And when we played to friends and stuff, we would see like, oh, they would identify with it. So I guess that's how we approached this sense of like mental health in the music.
And that's also why we need to do a holistic approach, that not only music but also film, also Instagram, and all, because the message needs to come together. Also to say that diversity is okay. Like for us, we are LGBTQ men, and often we see in other works about that, like we talk about sexual diversity, but there's another kind of diversity that needs to be said. Like in this new film, we're talking about depression, autistic people, schizophrenia, um,
Right.
bipolar. Like there is a huge human diversity that needs to be embraced, and people need to be kind about, like families that deal with that, friends, work, and like these are special people that they need to be us. We need to be accepted and respected, and like if you look to the genius of humankind, they are people with lots of trouble. They are people with lots of nightmares and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So these people don't need to be shut down. These need to be people need to be embraced. So that's our message.
And why was it such a kind of the great way to get this message out by doing a film, an album, live shows, and like kind of having this whole comprehensive approach? Why was that the right way?
We believe, I mean, first of all, this is what we do. We are artists. So the things that we do is like films, first of all. That was our main thing first. And then we started making music. But the idea is to be able to build a community. And we believe that art is a good way to do that. So if we have a film where people can watch and learn stuff, not in a scholarly way, but like informative in a fun way, in an entertaining way with the film, and also have the music experience where you can listen to the music and try to understand your feelings better when you're at home by yourself or with friends at a party or even at a concert, where it's like even more connected in a way, because there's us on stage connecting with the audience and also the audience connecting with themselves. So this way, and we discuss about mental health stuff during the concert for the Necklace Project. And this way we tend to build a community where people feel like they are part of something and that they are not alone. And I think that was the main reason why we started doing, why we think that this approach can help people talk about it.
Yes. And there's also something special, which is like today in the industry in Hollywood, you have a lot of creative people being somehow serving to, how can I say this in a nice way, to computers and Wall Street executives and stocks. So creativity is in service to the stock market and to computers and algorithms, and like this is okay, but at the same time, like this project, we put our life savings. We took our network of friends, of artists, frustrated artists that came to LA, frustrated artists in Brazil, and like we believe that this was an important message to talk about, like diversity of people struggling with mental health issues, and we created something new. So today, if you go to if you want to do a project in Hollywood, you need to go to a platform. You need to pitch something and say, "Oh, I want to emulate that film that looks like that other film," and then they run into the system and look for references, and they want to make the investor look safe, and the executive needs to justify this decision and then find an established actor with numbers on social media and other films. And like, so this somehow, I think, poisons the creativity, poisons social impact. And we're proud that like if our film goes wrong, it's because of us and not because of a computer or because of someone that is like paying tribute to the stock market. We're trying to create something new here.
You guys have an interesting background too, like your complementary skill sets. You've got the acting, singing background, you've got the production background, and then putting that all together, trying to make something special is definitely unique.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, yes. For me, I definitely came from theater. This is what I studied, like to be. I'm an actor.
Maybe talk about the acting background from the acting.
Well, yes. For the past 2 years and a half, I've been studying, and I am now an associate member at the Actors Gang, where I learned the Commedia dell'arte technique. The Actors Gang, for whoever's listening and doesn't know, is a theater company in LA, in Culver City, founded and still directed by Tim Robbins, the amazing actor and amazing mentor. He taught me so much about what I do as an actor now, and we used the technique in our film as well, because the technique Commedia dell'arte, it's all about like archetypes, which is different than a stereotype. A stereotype is something that you're putting your ideas of something into someone, but an archetype is someone that represents many ideas. So it's like a mask or something that you see and you know what it is and you know everything about it. So what we did, we tried to create those archetypes for different disorders and different mental health disorders, or also like neurodivergence, like autism and depression and anxiety. All of that is kind of like in our film, and they have the masks on from what I learned at the theater.
The principle is that like if you walk on the street, you cannot tell if someone is struggling with depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or even like narcissism disorder or psychopathy. So we create a surrealistic world where we have these masks where this disorder are represented in order to break the stigma and the audience can like see through that.
One thing that I think is very nice that this question you just asked brought up, besides from talking about the Actors Gang, which I love them, is that since Fernando is primarily a director and I'm an actor, in the music part, this works perfectly because he's able to direct me like an actor for my singing performance. So when we're recording music or writing music, we have a very like easy dialogue as a producer now, like a music producer, and me as a singer. We have a very good dialogue in that sense because of our backgrounds.
That's cool. That's cool. It kind of comes together like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys decided to come to the U.S. That was a big decision. What was that like? How important was it for you to be in the U.S.?
Very much, because the U.S. has like the best and the worst of the world all together, and at the same time, we received death threats in Brazil because of our activism. So we're extremely grateful, like, to be in a foreign country and like to be welcomed as we were by all the Americans. Like, as soon as we stepped in the U.S., every single American, every single immigrant that we met in the U.S., they were all very welcome to us. Welcome us very well. At the same time, like, there's a side of America that we absolutely love. Like, you see, like, Nina Simon, Kurt Cobain,
A lot of the music.
A lot of the music,
we love
the
American
cinema.
music.
That's the part of America that we identify a lot. There's another part of America that we don't identify, then we are totally terrified, you know. So we live in these two how can I say, two worlds, and at the same time very grateful.
It is like a very big cultural shock in a way. I mean, obviously we've seen American culture growing up, you know, because we watch American films, we listen to American music.
He's a big fan of Taylor Swift.
I'm a big Swiftie.
and me at the same time a big fan of Brazilian music. So in our house we are all the time like battling like which kind of records are we gonna play.
Right, but like there's still like when you're actually living in the U.S., there's a big cultural shock because there's a lot of stuff that we are used to or like privileges we have in Brazil, let's say, that we don't have when we come to America as immigrants. So it's a little bit of a it's but as Fernando said, we are very grateful to everything because America treated us very well.
Yeah, and one of the favorite things I like to do in America is like take my car and hit the road.
Oh,
because
yes.
the landscapes, especially in Utah, are one of
Totally.
the most beautiful and amazing in the whole world. That's in our film, by the way. Like,
and the people you meet, you know, when you're just like driving around those like small towns, you meet so many interesting people that I wouldn't see like otherwise, like in Brazil.
I love how Americans are like respectful towards time. Like Americans don't, I think the expression is don't beat around the bush, right? Very straightforward. Don't waste time, you know. So that's very, very
nice and appreciated
for us, you know.
You guys seem to love to travel too.
Yes, we love traveling.
We do love traveling. It's it's the best way for you to.
We are checking all the national parks in the US. Like we have a bucket list, and we're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, obviously, traveling around the US is amazing, but I feel like traveling in general is so healthy, and if you have the opportunity to do so, it's definitely worth it because you're going to learn something by watching people, you know, from different cultures and different nationalities. You learn so much from them by just being there and seeing them. So yeah, we love it.
That's awesome. Definitely agree. It exposes you to new ideas and stuff, and maybe you wouldn't have thought about things until you get to see something like this. It makes you kind of think different, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So what's kind of your big picture now as artists? You know, like you have this project, the necklace project, there's certain things you want to accomplish there, but what would you say is like your big picture vision as creators, as artists at this point?
Right now, by the way, I would say that we need to share another project that we just did. Can you help me with the accent here?
Yes. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, please.
NASA?
Yeah.
Okay. We were hired by NASA to do a short film for them for the DSOC mission, which was a mission for they're testing a new sort of transmission technology.
Broadcast.
Yeah, it's called DSOC, so it's Deep Space Optical Communication. And they have a mission called Psyche, which is a different mission, but they sent the DSOC mission piggybacking? Well, I don't know.
Satellite.
Like inside the satellite for Psyche, they sent the DSOC mission, which is like this laser that went all the way to Mars. So it took like 2 years, and they just said that the mission worked, so we can talk about it. So now we're doing it.
Amazing.
I'm doing a little bit.
Yeah,
going all around it. Go straight to it. So yes, we sent the short film to the orbit of Mars, and they sent it back to Earth using the DSOC laser, and it worked. So that's awesome.
Basically, we did a short film, and they sent it to a satellite in Mars orbit and broadcast back to Earth. And it was a record of deep space broadcasting. So it's a big accomplishment for us. So basically, it's a big step for our startup. It's called Cosmic Dog Pictures.
Which I think is the best answer, honestly. Our big picture now is we have our production company.
Yeah. With 3 areas. One is like cinema and television, the other is music, and the other is tech. On the tech space, we also have another AI company that invested called innerai.com, which is like it's like Chat GPT, but like for corporate companies. So all the data is like private. And basically, on our one of our focus is to do like projects with author, how to say autor,
That I don't know.
like creative projects, on cinema, music, and television. That's our main vision, and especially doing the connection between Brazil and US and Europe.
Yes, and we are on tour right now for the Necklace project, just doing concerts in Brazil, and then hopefully do a small leg of concerts also in the US in the foreseeable future.
That's exciting. That's awesome. Well, so you mentioned the projects that you guys have been doing there. What are some areas that you want to get into that you haven't been able to create projects in yet?
I would love to do a TV series in US. We haven't done that yet. That's an area that is my next dream.
Yeah.
It's a good goal.
Yeah, it is a great goal. And me, I guess I would like to maybe step into a horror film of some sorts at some point in my life. So that's a goal that I have. I really love the genre, so I think it's something that at some point I might be doing.
Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting. So like a Netflix type show?
Yeah, sure. That could be cool. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we have a true crime that we're working on right now.
Yes, maybe we can share this. I helped co-founded a theater group inside a maximum security penitentiary in Brazil. So for 4 years, I was giving theater classes there, and one of my students was a serial killer, and his name was Peter the Killer. So, and he claimed that he killed over 100 people.
Yep.
And we're doing a documentary about his life. So, and he was killed in the middle of production. But now we are doing the post-production of the documentary. So this is one of our next projects that we can anticipate here on your show.
That's pretty crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty intense story.
Very intense.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you guys want to add in? Because that was all the questions that I had.
I would like to invite the audience to listen to our EP if they can. It's called Fernando's. It's one of our favorite songs. It's called California.
Yes. It's an easier way to find it as well, because we just started releasing music. So the best way to find it is if you type Fernando's California, which is an easy title for everyone to remember, and then you're going to find us for sure.
Yes, and I'd like to thank you very much for supporting our work and opening space for us at your show.
Yes. Thank you for having us at Legends and Leaders. It's cool.
Thanks for coming on, guys. It's awesome what you're doing in the mental health space. I think it's important and definitely want to help amplify that message.
Thank you.